Welcome to London Property Digest, your essential 10-minute audio recap for staying informed on London's property market.
Today we are diving into a story
Oh, I know.
that really captures the essence of
Yeah.
what's happening in London's luxury real estate.
Mm-hmm.
Tom Ford's recent purchase.
Oh, yeah, big splash.
Exactly.
Huge, $80 million for a Chelsea mansion.
I mean, that's the biggest residential purchase in the UK this year.
Okay, so that's not just like buying a house. That's a statement.
Right.
What can you tell us about this property?
Well, the exact address is a secret.
Ah, of course.
But we do know it's this classic white stucco-fronted mansion, those tucked away in a garden square.
Oh, lovely.
Perfectly situated between Hyde Park and the Thames.
So quintessential London.
Exactly.
Now, I've heard there's more to this than just designer with expensive taste.
Oh, absolutely. What else is going on? Well, the timing of this purchase is really interesting.
Okay.
Because Ford finalized the deal just before the UK government increased the stamp duty surcharges for second homes.
Okay, remind me what stamp duty is.
Essentially, it's a tax that you pay when you buy a property.
Okay, got it.
So by completing the purchase before the increase, he likely saved himself around $1.6 million in taxes.
Wow, so this wasn't just about aesthetics, it was also a really savvy financial play.
It would certainly seem that way, and you know what?
What?
He's not alone.
Oh, really?
We've seen this surge of wealthy individuals, particularly from the U.S.,
Interesting.
rushing to buy these luxury properties in London before this tax change came into effect.
So why is that happening?
It's a good question.
Is it just the tax break?
Well, the tax break is certainly a factor.
Yeah.
But there's also this sense that London is viewed as a safe haven for investment,
Right.
particularly in times of global uncertainty.
Makes sense.
Plus, there's just the allure of London itself.
Sure, the culture.
The culture, the lifestyle.
Access to provide.
Yeah, I get it. It's a very attractive place to be.
But doesn't this whole situation with the stamp duty and the influx of foreign buyers, doesn't that raise some questions about fairness?
It definitely does.
How so?
You see, critics are arguing that these tax breaks disproportionately benefit the ultra-wealthy.
Oh, right.
Widening the gap
Between
the haves and the have-nots.
That's right.
They also point out that it can drive up property prices, which makes it even harder for average Londoners to afford to live in their own city.
So Tom Ford's purchase, while definitely eye-catching, might actually be a symptom of a much bigger issue.
Right.
This growing influence of global wealth on the London property market and its potential impact on the city's social fabric.
Exactly.
And that brings us to another interesting layer of this story.
Oh, tell me more.
Tom Ford's non-dom status.
Oh, yes. That's something I've been hearing a lot about.
Now, that's something I'm not entirely sure I understand.
Okay, well, let's break it down.
Okay, please.
Non-dom, short for non-domiciled resident, essentially means that someone like Tom Ford, who is from the U.S., doesn't have to pay UK tax.
Wait, really?
On their foreign earnings, as long as they keep that money outside of the UK.
So he can live in London, potentially benefit from the UK economy, but doesn't necessarily have to contribute as much to the tax system as someone who earns their income here.
That's the basic idea.
This is really interesting.
And it's a system that has drawn a lot of attention.
Like that.
With some arguing that it attracts investment and talent to the UK, while others say it allows the super rich to avoid paying their fair share.
I can see both sides of that.
Exactly.
But how does this tie back to Tom Ford and his London property purchase?
Well, this is where things get particularly interesting. It's like this whole non-dom thing is changing the game.
Right. You were saying that the UK government has been making changes to this system.
Exactly. It's been around for centuries.
Wow, centuries.
Yeah, but now they're tightening the rules.
Making it less attractive for the wealthy to claim this non-dom status.
Precisely.
So do you think Ford's decision to buy in London now could be part of a bigger strategy?
It's certainly a possibility.
Just getting ahead of the changes.
Right. Securing those assets, establishing residency.
Before it's less favorable.
Exactly.
So this isn't just a celebrity buying a house.
It's much more than that.
It's like a calculated financial decision tied to these tax policies.
Absolutely.
So what does this all mean for London's future?
Well, it raises some big questions.
Okay, like what?
About London's appeal as a global hub for the ultra-wealthy.
Will those changes deter future investments?
Possibly. But then again, London's got that cultural pull, that financial power.
Right. So maybe that outweighs the tax implications.
It might.
But I feel like there's a bit of a tug of war happening.
How so?
On the one hand, you have the government wanting fairness,
right,
ensuring everyone contributes. And then on the other, they don't want to scare away the investment.
It's a tough balance.
Yeah, that those wealthy individuals bring.
A delicate balancing act.
So how do you think this will all play out?
It's hard to say for sure.
What are the implications?
Well, it's a complex question.
For both the super rich and the average Londoner.
Tom Ford buying this mansion, it goes beyond that.
What do you mean?
It's about global wealth, tax policies,
okay,
London changing, trying to stay appealing,
right,
but also dealing with these inequalities.
That's a lot to think about.
It is.
It's amazing how one purchase can spark such a complex conversation.
Right.
About global wealth, tax policies, the future of London.
It really highlights how interconnected these issues are.
Yeah.
We often hear about them in these abstract terms, but then Tom Ford makes this investment and it all comes into focus.
Right here in London.
Exactly.
It makes you realize these aren't just debates happening in Parliament or boardrooms.
No, they're not.
They have real consequences for real people.
Whether it's a fashion icon or a local resident.
Trying to find affordable housing.
That's right.
So what does this all mean for finding that balance?
Well, it's about recognizing the value of international investment.
Yeah.
But also ensuring the benefits are shared.
More equitably across society. That's a tough thing to get right.
It is a delicate balance.
But ultimately, the decisions made today are going to shape the London of tomorrow.
For better or worse.
It makes you wonder, what kind of city do we want London to be?
In the years to come.
Yeah. How do we make sure it stays thriving and inclusive?
For everyone, regardless of wealth or background.
It's a big question.
It is.
And if you want to keep thinking about these questions and stay informed about the London property market,
yes,
be sure to subscribe to London Property Digest.
For all the latest updates.
Until next time.